Hello everyone. Welcome again for the another episode of Business Application Show presented by CSharpCorner community. So, as you know that we run two tracks parallelly, one for the business application, the first party apps, and another one is for the Power Platform. So today it's time for the Power Platform session, and we are going to start the Power Automate fundamentals. So we will be discussing about the Power Automates. So here is the agenda for today. So we will start with the basic introduction. So we'll see what is Power Automate and where we can utilize that, and then we will see what are the different type of automation that we can implement using the Power Automate. Then we see what are the apps that is available which we can use and design our Power Automates depending on the scenarios. And then we will learn about the main components. So what are the main key component that every Power Automate required when we are working with that. So what we utilize and how we do that, so how we design our flow and all those. And then we will discuss some of the common typical scenarios where you can apply Power Automate. And then the last one is that license options. So we will see that what are the different license options that is available for the Power Automate. And then we will show you demo for all these things that we will discuss here. Okay, so before starting our topics today, let's have a quick overview about ourselves. So myself Mahender, and I have my friend with me Venkata. So we both are Microsoft MVPs and as well as CSharpCorner MVPs. So we have a couple of experience, and we both are running this show. Hey Venkata, you want to say hi to audience?
Hi everyone.
Okay, so let's start. So now the first, whenever we start new topic, we start with the basic introduction, like so basic terms that what is this all about, what this tool and what we can do and all those this. So same here. So Power Automate, basically you can say that every application that you build requires some kind of logic, right? So there are some set of rules that you need to follow. There are some set of actions that you need to perform, and those actions are basically derived from different conditions. So it may be just like, for example, if some variable value is this, do this. So you might have done this when you are working on the traditional coding language, but in the Power Automate we know that it's basically low code, less code solutions. So we don't write much code here. Very few expressions are required if and where whenever we do any kind of logic, and some conditions are there, we use minor expression, but most of the things that you do it without any line of code here, right? So you just do the drag and drop features. So you have the components, you can drag them, and you can do the setting, you can configure the properties, and then you are set and ready for your logic implemented. So similarly here, the Power Automate is the same type of application here, which basically part of the Power Platform, and it allow you to power automate your business processes. So depending on your business, what type of your business is, what type of your processes are there, you can automate every process here depending on the requirement. Okay, so we have hundreds of connectors here. So it can almost 900 data source it can connect. So like when we are working with any application or front end, we have some back end where our data is stored. And if your application is complex, there may be different two or three backends that your front end is connected with. So similarly here, Power Automate give us the capabilities that we can connect to the Microsoft as well as non Microsoft data sources. Okay, so there are hundred of connectors that is available which you can utilize as it is. And if there is nothing, you can also go ahead and create your own custom connector, and you can use it, and also you can publish it so that other users can also utilize your connectors, right? So these are the things that we have here as a data source. So you can see on the right hand side, this is a just an example that I have captured here. You can see we have different steps, and these steps run here based on the sequence, so how you have designed. So for example, we have declared some variables, and then we are utilizing these variable later on whenever we perform different type of actions, right? So to design these, we have two options mainly. So there are out of the box templates which you can utilize, which will help you when you will select the template. It will give you the basic structure, okay, that you can modify based on your requirement, or you can use it as it is, right? And the second option is that if you see that okay, there is no template and your requirement is something specific that is not there, you can design it from the scratch, okay. So you can create your own design and you can create your own flow based on that, okay. So we have different mainly three type of categories here. The one which is basically automated, so you can say that okay, when this action, or you can basically we have two things, like if you have worked with the sequel, so traditionally we have the triggers in the sequels, right? When something will happen, we want to run some logic, so that's what we have here, the automated. So it's basically bound to a specific trigger. When that trigger will happen, your logic will run. The second one is the scheduled one. If something, let's say you want to redo that every day, maybe every 2 days, or maybe after every 1 hour, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so depending on the reoccurrence, you can go for the scheduled options, okay. So it allows you different options where you can configure, okay, which time zone you want to run it, what time you want to run it, when you want to start it. So all those things can be configure under the scheduled option. The third one that we have the on demand, we call it instant cloud. So you can manually run it, and you can say that just run it. So it's just like on demand workflow that we have in our first party apps. So that options that is available in the Power Automates, okay. So now we know that what is the basic details about the Power Automate. Let's jump into more details. So what are the different options that we have which we can utilize to automate our processes? So mainly we have, you can see we have three options here. The first one is the business process flows, and this is specifically bound to the model driven app, okay. So we are using like the first party app like sales, and or we are creating any custom model driven app. Or you might have seen in our earlier session, we demonstrated that leads management and opportunity management. So you might have noticed we have a process bar there. So that process bar we can design here, which we can create different steps, and basically it represent the graphically what is the status of your record right now, okay. So what state it is right now, so that kind of thing we can build using the business process flow. The second option that we have is the cloud flows. So if something running on the cloud, that you utilize using the cloud flow. So you design your flow here, and it can interact with all your applications. So for example, you can design your cloud flow for that Dynamics 365 CE, or other SharePoint or other applications, and you can do your interaction and perform your logic based on the requirement, okay. The third category that we have is the desktop flows, which is also we call it robotic process automation. So it allow you to work on your workstation. So you can run on your window machine. So you might have some kind of task which you want to automate. So you can utilize your desktop flows, and this basically allow us to automate our legacy applications, right? And these both can communicate easily. Sorry, the cloud flows and desktop flows, you can communicate with them. So if there is something you want to pass some data from the cloud flow to the desktop flow, you can easily do that, okay. So these are the three categories that we have on the Power Automate. Now let's see how it look like, what are the different apps that we have. The first app that we have here is, this is the portal app, where basically the you can when you are on go for make powerautomate.com, so you will be you know you will be reaching on this particular screen, and you can see here that we have different options here which is presented, and you can design your Power Automate here. And you can see that my flows will show you all the flows that you have, and you can use the create option, the template, all the connectors that you can see, that you have created, or there are any existing connectors are there. So all these things can be seen here. Okay, so this is a complete editor. When you will start creating new flows, so you will see different options. So you will come to know more on the demo when we will show you demo on this. Okay, so that's the first part. The second one that we have is the mobile editor, so where you can create and manage your flows. And you, let's say for example, if you want to quickly look into some kind of notification that you get, okay, and or you want to do some kind of approval, so we can design that approval power automate, and you get some approval, and you are on your phone and you just want to approve that or reject that, or see some kind of notification. All these things can be done from the mobile app. Okay, and you can also run it all the on demand power automate from this app. Okay, so these are the mainly options that action we can perform from the mobile app. Now this is the third one, where we can design our desktop, or you can say that robotic process automations, and design our power automate, which basically going to interact with any legacy application, or you can automate your desktop related things. So for example, let's say if you want to download some data from some specific website, and you need to do it very frequently, okay, on maybe daily, or after some time, or you need to upload some data, so that can be automated using the desktop. In the desktop, basically we have two type of power automate. One is attended and another one is attended, and we will have a separate session where we will be discussing, because this is a vast topic here. So we will have a separate session for that power automate for desktop. So attended is something where you are logged into the your machine or your workstation, and your power automate is running. And if let's say it's asking some kind of input, or maybe you are getting some kind of error, you can correct it. Okay, so you are there on, you are logged into that machine. That's what we call the attended one. Unattended is that you are not logged into the system, it is running on the background, it will run all the steps that is defined, that you have designed under that here. So you can see these are different actions that you can design here, and then it will run on the background. So this is what we call the attended RPA and unattended RPA. Okay, so these things that we have on the desktop. So these were the three apps that we can utilize to design our power automate. Okay, now we know that these are the app we have. So let's go ahead and see that what are the main components. So in a high level, we have just two main component, which is basically trigger and action. Okay, so you can see here that this is the one screenshot. You can see that we have different tools here that is available under the power automate. So different connectors are there. So whenever you will select any of these connector, depending on that, you will be able to see the triggers and the action that is available under that connector. Okay, so for example, this is a trigger which is coming from the Dynamics 365 Dataverse. Okay, so trigger is basically when your automation will start. Okay, so whatever logic that you have written, when it's going to start, so this will be the starting point. Okay, so for example, you can see that when new business process step is running, or you are adding or creating or modifying or deleting, you are working with interacting with any record, so that kind of thing is there. So or there are different actions that you can perform, then you are going this logic is going to run. So that's the trigger. Now the next thing that we have is the action. So this is basically the result of a trigger. So when this action will happen, in this section you can see we have different type of options. So for example, add a new row. This means that if you want to create a new record into Dataverse, you can utilize this action. So similar to that, we have different type of actions that is available. And you can see that you might have noticed that all are saying the premium. So these are basically the premium connectors, basically, which means that you to utilize these you need a premium license. Okay, so for example, let's say if you are working with Office 365 and you got that Power Automate option that you can design your Power Automate, but if you want to utilize the premium connectors, so you need to go for the premium license. Okay, so these are the two components that we have on the Power Automate. So let's discuss a couple of scenarios. So these are basically, the screens that I have captured here. These are basically the template, which is existing template. So I'm going to use the same for the scenarios as well. So for example, you can see that we have, if you want to get that weather forecasting, like want to get the weather for updates, that what is going to happen, when it's going to rain, what how it will be. So all these things that you can design your Power Automate, and you can schedule it, and you can say that, okay, I want to get daily updates. Okay, so then you will get a daily update, and that things, you are going to design it using the Power Automates. Okay, so similarly, you can see that, for example, if you are getting email and you have that attachment, and you want to transfer your Gmail attachment to some Dropbox folder, so you can utilize that. For example, you can use those attachment later on. So these things are very easy here. And just think, like, if you want to write the traditional code for implementing this kind of scenario, you have to write lots of code, right? But here we are not writing single line of code. You just need to set up the connection, you just need to set up the connector properties, and then your flow will be ready. Okay, so no need to any kind of the code. And these are basically, very good example of the citizen development, where citizen developer, they are basically not from the technical background, and they can implement their automation, or for implement their logic, whatever their business required. Okay, so these are, for example, if you want to get some tweet, and you are getting some keywords from the tweet, and based on the keyword you want to perform some kind of action. So maybe, let's say, for example, we are a company, and based on the tweet, if you want see that, okay, if some customer is tweeting about ourselves, we want to create a lead, so that we can reach to the customer, and discuss that if they require some kind of service or product that we are selling, right? So this is very helpful here, and all these are basically available out of the box. You don't need to design that. You just click select, and everything will be, the structure will be ready for you. You can just configure it. Okay, so that's the scenarios that we have here, and we will see some of them in the demo when we will do the demo. And the last one that here that I want to explain, this will be a little bit difficult for that in the starting, but I will try to explain it as much as easy I can make it. So we have two categories, just like other Power Apps license. We have two categories: the subscription plan, and then the pay as you go. Okay, under the subscription plan we have three options. One, per user plan. So if you are buying per user, based on user, so for individual you are buying that, you can take it $15. And if you are buying, utilize that RPA, the Power Automate desktop, you need to go for the $40. This will include all the capabilities of the base plan as well as the RPA. So this will be unattended RPA. So sorry, attended RPA that will be there. So you need to pay for the $40. Okay, now the third one is that this is basically the per flow plan. These basically both are related to the individual users, but here this is basically related to a team, or you can say for complete environment, or for department. So you can associate it, and this is a you know to buy for this you need a minimum five bundles. So you need to buy minimum 5 unit of this. Okay, then additional you can buy on the $100. Okay, so that all these categories comes into the subscription plan that you need to pay monthly. And then the another category that we have is the pay as you go. So based on the subscription, your Azure subscription, you can utilize these. So first category is that you need to pay for the 60 cents, and this is for the base category as well as the RPA here. So these both categories are basically come into this cost. Okay, and the another one that we have is the per flow plan, that is basically the $3 that you need to pay for. So, okay, So these are the two main categories for that. And some, if you are utilizing your first party app, then also you got that, from the seed plan you also get that Power Automate, where you can utilize your premium connectors and you can do that connection with your dataverse. But if you require any other premium service, then you need to buy the license. For example, if you are going to utilize some AI capabilities, or maybe there is another connector which is a premium connector and don't come into your categories of the first party app, then you need to pay for that. Okay, so that's all I wanted to discuss about the Power Automate, and let's jump into the demo. And my friend is going to give demo, so I'm passing mic to him.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Do let me know once you see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it now.
So hi everyone, welcome back again. So it's demo time. So as you have observed, like how Power Automate flows can be, and what kind of different things that you can develop. So here I'm going to uh, help you to understand like how you can navigate first to the Power Automate. So the first thing is, this is my Power App Studio. Here from here you can click on this Power Platform thing, and here if you observe, right, this Power Automate symbol was present. So if you click on that, then what it will perform, so it will navigate to and make.powerautomate.com, which is nothing but my Power Automate Studio. Okay, so this is one way of navigating to the make.powerautomate.com, that is from Power App Studio. And the another way was directly typing here make.powerautomate.com. So let me zoom it out for you. So if you observe, right, this one is make.powerautomate.com. So first thing, like as a makers, make.powerapps.com, where you can open the Power Apps Studio, like the Canvas apps and all that, you can do it. In the same way, Power Automate also, that is Power Automate flows, you can simply remember, there is no need for you to remember the environments that are present. So simply it is a generic URL, where if you can click on this make.powerautomate.com with your credentials, then the list of all environments that are present for you, that will be available here. Okay, so here I have one developer environment, which is I have selected here. Okay, so this was an brand new look and feel of the Mac of the Power Automate one. So here, if you observe, right, there are on nice navigation windows that are present, like the home to see the approvals, to know about all the flows that are present. As mentioned earlier of this particular session, we do have the cloud flows and the desktop flows and shared with me. That means if suppose in any of your team has developed any flow, then they can share that particular flow with you. In that particular time, all that flows come and sit here. There are multiple ways of creating these particular flows. First is through the home. By clicking on this create, you can go and click on create. Second one is by clicking on this particular create directly, and you can select any of these particular templates that are present. Okay, so if you wanted to navigate, like what are all the different other templates that are present, if you observe here, if you go to the create and see for this template, there will be very much few only that will be shown. But if you wanted to see number of things that are present, then you can navigate to here and see what are all the different number of templates that are present. Imagine I do have these many things that are present for mobile notification, productivity, social media. If you click on this particular social media, like if you see right in the slide that was shown, if at all any weather updates that are being present in the MSM, so then the if any updates in the weather, then in the to an AMR group, all these notifications will go and sit there. Okay, and also if at all any email yourself new, if at all in this is an automated solution for the Twitter and Outlook integration, like you can configure. So if you example, if you are interested in one particular topic in Twitter, then obviously that particular topic will have an hashtag. So based upon that particular hashtag, then an email can be configured. So there is no need for you to spend lots and lots of hours of time simply simply by looking at the Twitter and all. If you configure this one simply by based upon that particular hashtag tweet, any new tweet with that hashtag, an email gets triggered here. So once that email gets triggered, right, obviously there is, with there are not hours, there are within minutes only you can all get to know about the information. And also there are number of connectors that are present. As mentioned earlier, there are hundreds of connectors that are present. So if you observe, few of them are premium, and the few of the connectors that does not have any label. So these you can call them as in standard connectors. Okay. So if you observe GitHub, YouTube, OneDrive, these are all the standard ones. Twilio, SMTP, Blogger, all these things. The remaining ones are the premium connectors we have. And there is not an so this part of the data, this is same with the Power Apps and also the Power Automate. Here what kind of tables that are present, if you wanted to see what kind of connections that are being made here, then you can go and see here in this particular connections. So if you observe, right, just I will delete all my connections which are present, which I don't want it to use anymore. Okay, so just I am deleting them. Okay, so custom connectors, you can ask me a question like, okay, if suppose the connectors are not at all present, so my I have my business requirement, but if I see all the connectors and all that connector is not present, then in that case we can go for this particular custom connectors. And now for this use of this gateways, then premium account was required. So for evaluation purpose, I'm using my trial version of the Power Automate. And custom actions, these are preview things. So just if you wanted to play it around and to know how the things are going to work, then you can use this particular custom actions. And there was a monitor window, like if you observe, right, as an admin Power Automate admin, if you wanted to know what happens, what was happening and all, if you observe, right, today uh, a flow successfully ran for one time, a file has been uploaded in OneDrive and the flow has been failed, then you can observe, if you click on this particular flow field, you will get to know about all the details that are present. So I'm not going to touch all these things about, because we are going to uh, we are going to cover them in the coming days in the advanced sessions. So for this, AA builder is also present, and process advisors and solutions also present. So okay, similar to the solutions, right, that we do have in the Power Apps, like the solutions are present, right. In the same way, Power Automate will also have these particular solutions. Okay, where you can use these particular solutions for movement of your Power Automate flows from one environment to the another environment. Okay, so now let me go back to this home and click on this one. So let us go in this way. So what it was saying, that create a flow to automate repetitive business task end to end. So I clicked on create. So now let us do one kind of thing. So what we can do, right? So let us go. See, we do have the three areas, that is start. You can build a flow from blank, or you can build a flow from a template, or you can build a flow from by using an connector. Okay. So let me do by going with the start from template. So here I will go with an notifications. If you observe, right, what it was saying, notify and email when a new file is uploaded to the OneDrive. So what I'm going to do, right? So I'm going to use OneDrive, and I am going to create and upload any new file. With whenever any file has been uploaded into the OneDrive, right? Then I will get a notification in the form of saying that, hey, a file has been uploaded in this OneDrive. Just have a look at it. So don't believe me. Let us go and see it. So just I have clicked on these things. If you observe what it was saying, it requires OneDrive and the notifications. So if I click on OneDrive, right, so just I am going to authenticate myself and provide the required details that are present. So what I am going to do, right, just I am configuring my details here. So if you observe, you will see a tick mark here. And now for notifications, just I'm going to click on create. Okay. So if you see it, both these particular OneDrive and notifications, these are all the standard connectors. That's why uh, the process was smooth. So now clicking on continue. So what was done, like I have selected a template, and after the template is selected, just I have provided the required connections. So now, so if you observe, right, all these steps, because of this particular template, it got happened automatically. So if you observe, right, this was the OneDrive related trigger. So as mentioned earlier, in Power Automate, trigger and an action. So trigger, when it will trigger, that means this process when to start. So I'm saying here, so just I do have my root folder. In this, I do have one demo folder. Okay, what I'm saying, uh, in my, so this is my OneDrive, and in this particular OneDrive I do have my files, and demo is one particular folder. So what was I'm doing here, right? So we will be uploading a file here. Once any upload this particular file, then this flow will get triggered out. So what it was saying, a file has been uploaded to OneDrive. So I'm not going to change anything. So here it was saying, right, hi Venkat, file list of files has been uploaded to the OneDrive. List of files path and of file type. So these are all predefined one only. So just I'm not going to uh, change any of these things. Just I have mentioned this particular folder. That's it. So now my flow, just I'm what I'm doing, right. Just I clicked on save. What it was saying, your flow is ready to go. We recommend you to test it. So for that, just you can test this particular flow by manually and automatically. So let me save, like click on manual, and then I click on test. So if you observe, right, uh, to see it work now, add a file to the OneDrive folder that you have selected. So if you observe, right, this flow was accepting a file to be uploaded. Then only uh, this flow will get triggered. So what? Let us do one thing. Let us upload one particular file here, and then just I have uploaded one file. Okay. So file has been uploaded. If you observe, right, my flow, boom. So a file was created. This was the demo. And what was the name? Leader1.jpg. And this was the display name. And what is the path? It is the demo leader1.jpg. jpg, and the media type is image and jpeg. So flow and send a mobile notification. So a file has been uploaded to OneDrive, and this was the leader1.jpg, and this was the folder structure that is in this particular folder. In this folder, the this particular file has been uploaded. And once that is done, so let me minimize it and send an email notification. So it was saying that, so this is a mobile notification, and this is a file has been uploaded to the OneDrive. And what it is saying, hi Venkat, a file with the name leader1.jpg has been uploaded to OneDrive, and this is present in the folder demo leader1.jpg of type image and jpeg. Okay, so if you go and see here, so okay, so accidentally just I have clicked on here, but if I wanted to know where this particular flow was present, don't get worried. So just you click on this my flows, and in this my flows, in this particular cloud flows, you will see this particular flow has been present. As I said you before, like a monitor was present. So if you click on this particular cloud flow activity, if you observe the timestamp here, 1 minute ago, this a file has been uploaded to the OneDrive leader1.jpg. Okay. So with this, just you can create any particular Power Automate flow by using an template. So now let us go and use another template. So um, so as we took this example start from a template, let us go start from a connector. So what I'm going to do, right? Just I'm going to select the Microsoft Dataverse. So what was I am doing here, right? So it requires a trigger. So when a trigger was happened, so what it was saying, right? Just I will click on this extended trial. If you click on that, a Microsoft Dataverse connector will be used, and it was using my existing connection. Okay, and then so the change type, if at all any record has been added in one particular table, that is account, then the scope was organization. So what I'm going to do here was in the new step. So what was I'm going to do, right? I'm going to use a compose action. So here what I'm going to do here, so account, right? So here what I'm going to do, right? Account name was added on. So here you can add some kind of UTC now. Yes, just and click on save. Okay. So simple. What I have done, I have selected. So let okay. Let me account flow. Just I have named it to account flow. What we have done, just we have selected an connector of the type Dataverse, and then just I have created this one. So now what I'm going to do, just I'm going to click on save. Okay. As I saved it, what it was saying, right? We recommend you to test it. So manually I'm going to test it here. So what it was saying, to see it to work now, perform the starting action. So what was the starting action? An account has to be created. So what I'm going to do here, so let me duplicate this particular tab and go back to here and click on data, click on tables, click on this particular tables. here, let me go to the account table, and let me open this particular one. So okay, let me open here. I'm going to add it. So what I'm going to do here, let me zoom it for you guys. So just I'm going to add new row. What is my account name? Is Venkat Co, and my these are all non-mandatory fields. It is Hyderabad. I'm going to select some primary contact here, or just I can select my name as well. Okay. So now this one has been automatically saved. So if I refresh here, and I can see Venkat Co. If I go back to this particular flow, if you observe, my flow has ran successfully. So let us see it, what was happened. So let us go here. Let us open this run. It will load sometime. So what it was saying, when a row has been added or modified or deleted. So I have added a record in the account. The change type is 1. Okay. Then what I am doing here in the compose, what we have written. So we have written the account name was added on just now on this particular type. Okay. So which is on 26/5/2023, which if you observe right, this was my system date. And just if you update here, right, just if you observe 26/5/2023 has been present. Okay. So you can ask me another question, Venkat, just prove me if you update any data, then whether your flow has been added or not. So let me do it in the ADatum Corporation. Let me change this primary contact from to an another contact, and then just I'm refreshing this one. Just I have tabbed that one, and then so this one has been changed. Let us go back to here, and then if you observe, okay, so this one has been modified, and let me refresh it. So Paul Cannon, and if you go back to here and just refresh here and see the 28-day run history, you should see these particular details. So when a row is added or modified or deleted, then this value has been come. Okay, so it will take some time to reach and to get these particular details. So till that particular one, okay, let us do this one. Uh, Let us change the values and give it to the Patrick, and uh, then just let us refresh it. So the values has been refreshed, and then so few values. So as it, if you have observed right, I have performed couple of operations. So because of the some kind of latency that are present, these values or it will take some time for uh, changing. Okay, so this is how you can change it and create by using a template and by using any particular connector. So if you wanted to know more about these details and all, right, then you can go through this particular learn.microsoft.com, and by using this particular training modules you can get to know about these details. So so Mahinder, do you wanted to add anything as a closing notes?
Yeah, thank you, Venkata. No, I think we have. What we wanted to cover in this is the basic, fundamental of the Power Automate and how to, create basic Power Automate. So that's we have covered, and we have, provided different options how we can, utilize existing template as well as how we can create from scratch if you want to create a new Power Automate. Okay, so both of the things are there, and as I said that the RPA is a basically a vast topic, and we will be having another session where we will be discussing all about that Power Automate for desktop. So yeah, I think that's what we wanted to cover. And just to remind that we are running two shows on every second and the fourth Friday. And in the one track we are taking the first party apps, and in another one we are talking about the power platform tools. Okay, so thank you for joining us today, and let's catch you on the next show on that second Friday. So we will be talking about the next first party app. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.